Okay, hello there. Sorry I'm a little late there. I was having camera problems. So hopefully I got it fixed. Welcome to today is Friday, so it's not Therapy Thursday. So because I'm a day late, we have renamed it Fabulous Friday. So I am still having a couple problems, so I'm trying to fix them real quick before we start. And I'm going to show you this. Okay, so I am here. Had to step out for just a second there. I'm still having problems here. Getting this, I got cords everywhere. Hold on. Oop, that was not good. Hopefully that will be a little better. Okay. All right. So today is Fabulous Friday. I'm a little late, but I was told that I was coming on early before, so now I'm making up for that and being a little late today. So we are going to make another fun fold card tonight. Super easy. I've made ones like this before, but in a different direction. So this will be a little bit different than what I've done. Oh, happy Friday. Hey. Yeah. Laura and her fans. Yes, I love Laura and her fans. Thank you, Maggie. Okay, so when I was putting the directions on, if you're really eagle-eyed, you realized that I had a piece listed, but it wasn't pictured. So that was one. And I also left off something else. And at the moment, I can't remember what it was, but we're going to keep going. Okay, so this is a stamp set that I'm using today. This is one of the new stamp sets that is in the fall or holiday mini, the July through December mini. I'm not sure what they call it nowadays. I still call it a holiday because it has lots of holiday stuff in it. But this is very more fall oriented. It'd be great for either just general fall stuff. You could use it for Thanksgiving, Halloween, because it does have a pumpkin. You know, so you can use it for lots of stuff. But that is what I'm using today to make our card. And to get my paper cutter out, I am also using the paper that I used, which is checked paper. This is the other side, but I'll show you. One side has a bigger pattern and the other side has a smaller pattern. And this is part of the, I gotta get the name right. Sorry. This is part of the Gingham Cottage paper. It has more sheets in this paper. Normally there are 12 sheets in one of the 12 by 12 packs, and this one has 48, so there's a lot more. So there's a lot more colors, but each of the colors, and I'm just going to show you real quick. I'm not going to show you the whole thing because there's lots, but each of the colors, there's black, orange, red, yellow, green, couple different shades of green, different shades of orange. There's pink, there's gray, there's a couple shades of gray, but there's excuse me, there's a big pattern, and then on the other side is a smaller check. So they're all the same pattern, they're just different colors. And there you can see some of the other smaller colors on the back. So I just picked two of them that kind of looked fallish looking. And so I picked yellow and black because I think they look good together, and it looked kind of fall. And my card is probably maybe a little more Halloween, maybe, I don't know, because it has I am going to stamp this pumpkin, so of course pumpkins are orange, so the orange goes with the black and the red. So anyway, yes, my mom is doing fine. She's doing really well. She's been doing some in-home PT, and she's doing really great with that. She's getting along really well, getting around well. So she's just disappointed that, because technically she's homebound because of her insurance is covering her in-home therapies, and of course she wants to be out and doing stuff, and she's really not ready for that. She thinks she is, but you know, so that's all good. Everything's going great. So thank you for asking how she was doing. So she's doing real well. Okay, back to the card. So this is the stamp set I'm going to use. We are going to stamp this pumpkin and also this set of flowers right here. So I'm going to set that aside for a minute. And I'm going to tell you the measurements. So you need, for this card, you can use different colors, different papers if you want. So you will need a piece of cardstock. This is the basic white thick cardstock that is 5.5 by 8.5. And let's see. Then you will need some basic black cardstock, and this piece is 2 3/4 by 5 1/4. This piece is, I got my little sticker, is 1 by 5 1/4, and this little piece here is 2 3/4 by 1/2. So that's that little strip. So you need those 3 pieces. For the designer series paper, whatever you choose, I chose 2 that went together. Obviously, this is black and yellow. It could be 2 different papers from any paper set that you want. And this piece is 2 5/8 by 5 1/8. So you get to, you know, play with little small measurements. This piece, which is, that's the big side, this is the little side. This piece is, where is this piece? There we go. This piece is 7/8 by 5 1/8. And this tiny little piece here, and you could use either the black or the yellow. We are going to use the other side of this one though. Just let me flip it over. You can, I just chose the yellow because I have black for my background. This little piece is, it goes this way. I'll put it up here. It's tiny. It's skinny. It is 2 5/8 by 3/8. And this piece here, which is the piece that I forgot to show in the picture, but I'll go back and fix that, is 2 3/4 by 5 1/4. So those are all the pieces that you need to make the card. And I know I like yellow and black. I also like pink and black, but you know, pumpkins don't go well with pink, so that's what I didn't do that. Okay, and so I told you we're using this stamp set. This, you could fussy cut, but there are dies that go with this stamp set. They're called Rustic Pumpkin. And this flower has a die that matches it. You can see right there. Goes on right there, and then the pumpkin has one. This is upside down. It would go better if it went that way. And this is the one that goes on the pumpkin. There are also some other ones that just emboss, like these 3 right here. There's this banner here. You can cut it with this piece. These are just kind of little, like the little tendril pieces that you see on a pumpkin that are kind of squirrely. That's what these 3 dies are. This is obviously this leaf that's right here, and then this little flower here is this little die right there. So we are using that. And the other thing that you will need is you will need a piece of scrap or a small piece of basic white cardstock to do your stamping on. So we will be doing that. I'm going to move these out of the way so I don't lose them. Going to move that out of the way, and we're going to start the little bit of scoring on our card. I'm going to take all these little things off. So I hope you got them. If not, you can go back and rewatch and stop it at that point. The measurements will also be up on my blog later, which are somewhere around here. Yep, there it is. Here's my piece of paper. But it didn't attach. There you go. So if you want to check that out later, it will be on there. I'm just going to kind of move these out of the way just a little bit here so that we can bring this in so that we can do a little bit of scoring. So we're only scoring, not cutting. And we're going to score on the long side. And got something on my, I got all kinds of stuff on my thing. So we are actually going to score this in half, which is at 4 1/4. So I'm going to move my cutting blade, and we're going to score it right there. And then we're going to go backwards a little bit, and we're going to score it at 3 1/4. I think I did that right. Yes, that's what I want to do. I had to think there for a minute. There we go. So we're done. That's it. So 3 1/4 and 4 1/4. And we're just going to put that aside. Oops. Hold on, let me fix that. If you want to know how I stick this on here, there we go. A little bit of adhesive on the back, and ta-da! Okay. All right. So first, what we're going to do, we're going to leave that there for just a second. We're actually going to adhere some of these pieces together to get my glue. And obviously, you might have kind of guessed this already. That one does not go on there. Is that these pieces are going to get layered. Your designer series paper are going to be layered on top of the black pieces. So those are going to go that way. This one, when we put it on our card, is actually going this way. So they're going to get adhered just like that. So it's just going to take a minute to put a little bit of glue on the back. I hope I don't get it all over me. All right. So how are you all doing today? Sorry I missed you yesterday, but I had such a busy day that I didn't even get home till late, and then it was dinner time, and I was exhausted. I've been out all day long trying to get some stuff to done. I actually hired a caregiver for my mom so that I could go out, because I also do some bookkeeping, so I had to go do that yesterday, and I just had a lot of errands to run that I haven't been able to do because my mom needs somebody with her all the time, because otherwise she tries to do stuff she shouldn't, and we're trying to, you know, make sure she doesn't fall. So, alrighty. So, I'm not sure if anybody's thinking about fall cards yet. It was almost 90 today, so it was where I am, so it was pretty warm. But maybe this will kind of help get me in the mood. All right, so those are our three pieces that we need. This is our other piece, and we are going to, I want to kind of surprise you, so we're going to wait and put this together until we finish stamping. Then we're going to put the whole thing together. Doesn't that sound like fun? All right, so find my scrap pieces. Okay, so there's a scrap piece of paper. So we are actually going to do some coloring because, as you can see, these only stamp the outline. They're not solid like this leaf is. So we are going to have to do a little coloring, which I like to do. It's always fun. All right. So this is the pumpkin, and we're going to stamp these in Memento black ink. So we're going to get that out. We're going to stamp actually both the flowers and the pumpkin at the same time. Looking at fall card ideas. Well, that's true. It is almost September. Labor Day is one more week, and it's, well, a little more than a week, and it's Labor Day weekend. That's always fun. And then, of course, you know, football season starts. So if anybody's a football fan, or either college or professional, that all starts up too. So I'm just going to stamp this pumpkin right there. There it is. You can see it has some nice detail on it. And then I'm going to stamp this flower. Make sure I get the whole thing. For some reason it doesn't want to, the middle doesn't want to stamp on this one sometimes. I think it might be my ink pad. I think I need to give it a little more juice. There. Sometimes if it doesn't work the other way, because this is kind of bigger than there, you just put it on there. I'm going to turn this one this way so I don't waste as much paper. I don't know if you do that. Sometimes I will stamp extra, like on this same piece of paper. I will just, that way I don't have to stamp it again when I want to make another card. I've already got some. So as long as I'm here and I got my stamps out, I'm going to do that. I'm not sure if I can fit both of those on here again. Maybe not. I might try it though. Let's see what happens. Nope, that won't fit. But I do have an extra pumpkin now. So put my ink back on so I don't mess it up. Okay, so I like to color and then cut. You can do it the other way around, but I just think it's easier to color first. So the colors that I'm going to be using are pumpkin pie. And some of these I don't have. You know, the writing on these is so small, that's why I put stickers on them. Daffodil Delight, and the last one, which I don't have stickers on these because these are newer. This is Old Olive, so for the leaves. So for the pumpkin, I'm doing pumpkin pie. So when I color, oh hey Marlene from Wisconsin, nice to see you. I like to color with the darker one first, and I use the skinny end, and I just kind of color in some of the lines, and then when I take the lighter color and kind of color over it, they kind of blend in a little bit, but they also give it a little bit of shading. So I just kind of really quickly do this. When you're going on the bottom or someplace else, you do need to make sure that you're on the inside of the line and not the outside, because sometimes it can bleed just a little bit. Depending on your paper. Stampin' Up! Paper does not bleed very much. Not everybody uses that brand, but it's actually made for stamping. So it has a different texture on the top than other paper you might buy at like a big box discount store or your office supply store or something. The texture is different, so the blends react different on that. So if you're not using Stampin' Up! Cardstock, which I highly recommend, by the way, because it does give you a better stamp impression, as well as it coloring on it just makes it a little bit better. So I color it like that. That's the dark. And then I take the fat end of the light, and mine's kind of running out, and just color in the other part. I kind of give it a little extra where it's going over that. And I need a new one of these because it is really kind of on its last legs here. I've used it a lot lately. I've been making pumpkin things. Now you don't always have to make your pumpkin orange. You can also make them different colors, because if you see them in the store sometimes, especially in the home decor part of your store or something, you'll see pumpkins that are more green or mint. So mint macaron looks really pretty with that, and I think I might even have one that I did. Nope, I don't. You can also use, if you want something a little bit darker, you can use Cajun Craze. That also does well. I would use the lighter. So I also kind of go over the bottom parts where I think it's going to be shaded a little bit more with a little extra. Put another layer on there. Also around the top. That's why those lines are there, to kind of give you an idea. Those are kind of areas that might be a little more shaded than, and I'm trying to kind of fill it in a little bit because my colors, if you have a brand new Stampin' Blends, you're going to get a different color than one that is running out of ink like mine. So I am going to kind of give this a little bit more. And you can tell once you let it dry a little bit that where it needs to be a little bit darker, maybe kind of down the seams. I don't know what is that what you call it, where the thing is on the pumpkin, a seam? I'm not sure. And then I'm not going to color the stem. You could, but it's actually going to be covered up, so I don't feel like I need to color the stem. So I am going to turn this way because we are going to do these little flowers. And I did the leaves in Old Olive, and I did use the skinny end because they are kind of small, and I basically just filled them in. It's kind of hard to shade these because obviously they're very small. You can use 2 different colors and do some a lighter color, some a little bit darker color, if you'd like. So like this leaf is a little bigger, you could probably add a little bit of shading to that one. Some of these other ones are pretty small, so it's kind of hard to do a whole lot of shading with them. So I just kind of fill them in. And obviously you can do them in different colors if you'd like. But some of these, okay, nope, that's a leaf. Some of these it's kind of hard to tell if it's a flower or a leaf. Some of these are little leaves that are stuck in between, like there. And so there's those. And I wanted mine to look kind of like sunflowers, so I did them in Daffodil Delight. This is the dark. I have another color too. So I kind of went around the middle of these. You can kind of see I left the middle darker or empty. I didn't do the center of the flower, not the I guess middle. So I'm just kind of doing the bottom part of the leaves with the darker color. You know, I'm not a professional color person, so obviously this will not be professionally colored. And then I took the lighter color and went around the top part of the leaves. This kind of gives it a little bit of shading, and so you have a little bit of dark and light on your flowers. And I think this one's running out too. I'm trying not to get my hand in the way so you can kind of see, so I'm holding my pencil kind of funny, not how I would normally do it. So hopefully you can see what I'm doing. I'm trying to pay attention to trying to watch the camera and color at the same time, which is probably not good. This one seems through. Let me try the fat end here. That one, nope. I think it's running out. Nope. You can tell when it starts squeaking. I don't know if you can hear it. That means the ink is running out. Obviously, I will be ordering some new blends here pretty soon. I do use this color a lot, so if you don't have any and you want to try one, I would highly recommend Daffodil Delight. You can use it for a lot of different things, even Christmas cards, because it's kind of like a goldish color. I did use the light the light pumpkin, and colored in the middle of these little puffy flowers. I don't know what they are, but they look like little starbursty kind of things, just to kind of tie in the orange on the pumpkin with this. And I did these little flowers here, and this one over here. I think I got them all. Okay, and I took this one and just kind of did some little dots on these. I don't know if you can see that, but they're kind of like little dots. So I just kind of dotted right on top of the dots. And I used the darker one just so it'll show up a little bit. You don't really need much. I just see a leaf I missed. So I think that's the only two places that they are. And I missed a leaf right there. So I'm gonna go back and fill that one in. There we go. All right, so I didn't do the middle because I forgot that I actually did the middle in crumb cake. So I think because I kind of wanted it to look a little bit like a sunflower. So I kind of just colored it in. This is the dark crumb cake. So I just kind of colored in the middle a little bit with that. And like I said, if you're doing a pumpkin that is not where you're going to see the stem, you can just color in. I'm just coloring it just for fun. But you don't need to for this card. You can color in that so it looks more like a pumpkin. All right, so that's all the coloring. I put my little blends away. And now we're going to die cut these out. I am going to cut them apart because I cut them kind of close together, and I'm going to cut them both at the same time, and I don't want the dies to get stuck on top of each other. So we are going to just die cut those out real quick. I'm going to move this out of the way so it doesn't get in the way, and move these. And I'm going to put that there. And I am going to put a little sticker on top of these so that they don't slide on me, because I don't want to do this again. I want it to come out right the first time. So, to find my little stickers. I keep them in a drawer right next to me, so they're not hard to find. They're just little removable stickers. I'm going to move this out so you can see that this is going to fit right on top of there. And you just kind of need to line up the little flowers, make sure you aren't cutting them off, and line up the little sunflowers on the bottom also. So I'm just going to, hopefully I did that right. Just going to stick that right there. Okay. I'm going to put my plate on top and just roll it through. And move that out of the way. All right. And here we have perfectly cut little flower, not perfectly cut, but cut little flowers, and cut off, and a pumpkin. So I'm gonna smooth these out of the way so now they're stuck on my stand so I don't lose them. And now we're ready to put our card together. Oh, teal pumpkin is cool. Yes, you can definitely use that color. They look very pretty, especially if you do a couple different shades. You could do one in Pool Party, one that's kind of cool, so it's a lighter color, then a darker color. I've seen them done in Bermuda Bay or Coastal Cabana. They look really nice. And there's paper in that paper pack that matches that too. So, all right, so we got all our pieces, and this is the piece that we scored. So now we're going to do a little folding. So for one of the places we scored it was in half, so we're going to cut or score our card in half. Just like that. And then this piece, we're going to fold it back this way. Just like that. And there's a reason, because this is, you might have heard of cards that are called bookbinding cards. So it's going to actually open like this. This right here is going to be glued on the inside. So we're going to put glue right here on this little portion right here. So then when we fold it closed, that'll be glued down. And when you open it, it looks just like this. So there you go. So that's what we're going to do. We're just going to open it up, put glue right in the middle, and you don't want to get it, I put it in the middle, you don't want to get it too far out because you don't want it to squish out. But you do want to put it enough in there so that it will keep it glued together. I'm going to use this just to kind of press it down really good. And there is our card base. So these pieces are going to go on the front. So this piece, uh-oh, I didn't do that right. Oh no. Oh, phooey. Yeah, I did something wrong. Hold on. Maybe I cut it wrong. Nope, I didn't. I scored it wrong. That's what I did. Yep, that's what I did. All right. Okay. Let's try that again. I knew I did something wrong. Okay, so we're going back and we're scoring it again because I scored it at the wrong measurement. So another piece. This, we haven't put it all together, so we're good. All right, so we are going to score this at 4 1/4 because we want it to be in half. And I'm scoring. I just want to make sure I don't have my other blade out of the way. So if you do what I did and you scored it in the wrong spot, now you know not to do that. And then this one is going to be scored. I don't want to show you my card, but I'm measuring my other card because obviously I didn't measure right. I think what I was thinking is my piece was 1 inch wide, but you have to score it wider than that. So we're going to score it at, this is, there we go. That's why. Okay. So this is 4 1/4, and we're going to score it at 5 1/2, not 5 1/4, 5 1/2. That makes more sense. All right. So if you're watching earlier, we're going to score it at 4 1/4, and then we're scoring it again at 5 1/2. And that's your second score. So when you fold it back, it's just like I showed you before, just obviously I had the wrong measurement, so sorry about that. Okay. As soon as I put that other piece on, I thought, this is not right. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing, and we are going to glue, I'm going to bring my other pieces back. We're going to glue it right in the middle. I'm probably going to use that other card, but I'm just going to have to adjust my other measurements and make the same card, but with a skinnier book binding. There we go. Now we got it. Now we're rolling here. Sorry about that. All right, now these pieces will fit because this piece now fits right on there. This piece is going to fit right on there. And the other pieces are for the middle. So we are going to glue this piece down, and then we're going to add a little bit of ribbon before we put that piece down. So this piece is going to go here. And then it's going to go right on the front, right centered on the front there, in between the score lines, just like that. Okay. All right. And then this piece, we're going to put some ribbon around before we put it, before I put the whole thing together. So you can, there's two ways you can do this. You can just wrap a piece around so it goes right in this little crack, like a piece of twine would go really well there, but I wanted to put ribbon on here. So I thought about putting white, but then it didn't really show up well enough because I thought it kind of blended in with the white a little bit. So I wanted it to be yellow like my paper, which is Daffodil Delight. And you can see where I colored a little piece already from the card I made before. So what you're going to need to do is lay your ribbon out and get your Daffodil Delight marker. moved it. And you're just going to color the ribbon. So I am going to move that. So I just kind of hold it down and just color just like this. So you take the fat side and you just color your ribbon. This is the white crinkle seam binding ribbon. It colors really well. It actually helps the ribbon to give it a little bit of stiffness if you color it. So I just color one side and then I kind of flip it over depending on your Stampin' Blend and what color you're using. Sometimes you need to add a little bit to the other side just so that it's fully covered. Probably not this one, but sometimes some of the darker colors you need to add a little bit more. So I do want to make sure, or you do want to make sure that you do enough for it to go around plus enough to tie a little bow. So I'm just going to do a little bit more. Just make sure you have a piece of scrap paper or something underneath when you're doing this, because as you can see, it will goes over the edge and it can soak through a little bit. But because these are alcohol markers, it dries really fast. So I don't even have any on my hand, and I've had my hand on it. So I'm just going to cut that off. There we go. So I am going to take this. I did not wrap it all the way around and tie a bow. I'm just going to put it down the middle and put a little bit of adhesive on the back. It's right on the middle so that I can attach the ribbon to it. So I just put it on there, kind of make sure it's in the middle, wrap it around, and then attach it again on the back. Cut it off, and then I have this part to make a bow, and probably have a little more than I needed. Oops, I did a little bit too tight. It was bending my card a little bit, so you do want to make sure that you don't do it too tight so it doesn't bend your card. There we go. And now we're ready to put that on, just like that. So let's put a little glue on the back. The pumpkin and the flowers I did attach with dimensionals, so because you know I like that. It just helps give your card a little bit more dimension. That's why they call them dimensionals. So that's that piece. I am going to go ahead and tie my bow. That done. Obviously you don't need it that big. I like to tie it and adjust it. I probably have enough to make another little bow. Right. So I'm going to cut that off. There we go. You don't need that. And next I want to make it a little smaller. That's not that wide, so you do want to make it a little bit smaller. I might cut some more off the tail, we'll see. I just put that on with a glue dot. And here's my glue dots. You can put it anywhere you want. I put it a little bit above the center. I don't know why, that's kind of where I thought it looked good. Alright, so the only other part we need to do is our pumpkin. And there's our pumpkin. And we need a few dimensionals. I got a brand new sheet of dimensionals too. Whoops, that kind of stuck on there, didn't it? The back kind of got stuck on there. I'm going to flip that over. I'm going to throw some of these on the back. Now the top's coming off. Well, my brand new sheet of dimensionals is getting stuck. Let me, there we go. Take that off. Take that one off. And we're just going to put that on kind of about here, because we want to leave room for our sentiment at the top. So this is the back of the flowers, and you're going to see that this is actually going to cover up the stem, of the pumpkin. So like I said, you aren't going to need to color it if you don't want. So there's that. This is just going to go on just so I'm going to show you something. So I did not put something here because it's going to go over. I might need to move these over just a tad because otherwise they're going to get stuck on the other piece of the pumpkin. I think when I did it before, I used the littler ones. So, because we don't really, there we go. So we want that to lay flat. There's our pumpkin, and want to put a little saying on the top. The ones that came with the stamp set, where I put the stamp set, were a little bigger than I wanted. So I used a different stamp set for the sentiment. So this is another stamp set that I'm going to do some other cards with. But this is called Soft Seedlings, and I really liked the font of these and how small it was. So I did the So Grateful, which is right here. So I'm just going to take that one off. And this little piece here, which I've already die cut, comes from the Stylish Shapes. You've seen me use these before. I use them a lot. They really, circles, squares, plus they have 4 different banner pieces. The one I used is this one right here. So you get to see a lot of stuff. I've lost my, I'm not sure what happened. Hello. I lost my video. There we go. That's driving me crazy. All right, so I just stamped that in black because, you know, yellow and black is my card. Oh, I'm glad you like the card. So hopefully I will get it straight. On there the first time I stamp it. The only problem with, normally I probably should stamp it first and then die cut it because this could come out crooked really fast. Ooh, no, it didn't. Woohoo! All right, and I did stick dimensionals on the back of that one too. This one, there's number 2. And I just put it at the top of the card like this. Kind of centered it right on there. And you can tell if you get it not straight when you have gingham paper because there are lines. Although those aren't always the same. And then the white piece is for the middle. You can write a little note on it before you put it on there. This piece actually goes at the bottom. Just to kind of decorate the inside. I did add the black because I kind of wanted it to match the black that was on the front of the card. So I'm just going to put that down at the bottom. And then we're just going to adhere this to the inside of our card and then we're finished. So didn't take too long, and that's what was with me recutting or re-scoring my piece because I didn't do it right. I will have the correct measurements for the scoring when I put it on my blog, though, just so you know. All right, and there's your card. All done. Ah, you just colored pumpkins today. Aha. Yeah, so this is kind of fun, but obviously you can use actually, you know, like the teal pumpkins if you wanted, and use the green paper. And I'm going to cut these a little bit so it's not quite so big. And it would be really cute, really make a nice card. Too, you could also put Happy Halloween on these if you wanted it to be more of a Halloween card. You don't have to put the flowers on. You can, you know, just put the pumpkin if you want. So there's a card. They do call it a book binding because it kind of opens a little bit like a book, and it has the little thing on the side. So I hope you liked the card tonight, and next week I should be back at my regular time on Thursday, and I hope you will join me next week. If you have any questions, just please, leave me a message or write it in the comments. If you like this video, please share it. And if you want to check out my blog, this card and the measurements and a little bit of directions will be on there next week. So please check that out. If you would like to order any of the products you see, just let me know. There is a place on my blog for you to shop, or you can just message me or leave a comment. So I hope you have a great evening, have a great weekend, and enjoy the rest of it. And I will see you next week on Thursday. Good night.